Why make the students suffer?
Well, I think universities need to ask themselves that question because we've been constantly trying to have talks with them to resolve these issues. We've been left in a position where we have no other option than to withdraw our labour, and university leadership teams and management need to account for the poor management of it.
You do have an option, don't you? You don't have to. You're not being forced to withdraw your labour.
I think if somebody was presenting you with the option of losing £240,000 from your pension and therefore your retirement over that period, and literally you've exhausted all talk, you might consider withdrawing your labour too.
How many strikes have there been with university staff in the last few years?
So in 2018, there was a strike over this USS pension, which was actually a really successful strike, which saved the downgrading of the pension scheme. And then, obviously, in November, December, there was the first wave of action associated with these current strikes.
So that's 3 strikes in 3 years?
Yeah.
Quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, I think it's indicative of just how poorly managed universities are, that their leadership teams, who can fully afford to meet the, what they're saying is they don't want to pay staff equally. What they're saying is they don't want to employ people on proper contracts. What they're saying is they're happy with universities functioning on the goodwill economy of staff.
What would be the average salary that a professor or lecturer would earn?
But that is a really misleading actual version of what's happening in universities because it's not just professors and lecturers.
I asked for a figure.
Well, professors are on grade 10, which is anything from 50k upwards, but many staff,
£1,000 a week,
staff are earning £6.81 an hour when you actually factor in the work they do through their contract. That's less than minimum wage. It's really misleading to focus on the highest paid in universities, and that's not what these disputes are about.
Right. Presumably they're not forced to work there, Ms Grady.
It's actually Dr Grady, but no, they're not forced to work
Doctor. I apologise for that. Doctor, they're not forced to work there, are they?
Well, no, but if you're looking at the idea that people, withdraw their labour, well, the universities are not delivering teaching because our labour has been withdrawn. What we're asking for is better conditions. That's the point of trade unionism.
It is, but also you're inconveniencing, possibly in part ruining, the chances of so many students.
What's really interesting about these disputes are even the students that have launched petitions to ask for rebates from universities, they're also fully supportive of staff. The two are not in contradiction. What students know is investment in staff, is investment in students, and leadership teams need to account for how they are poorly managing their institutions.
Of course, not everyone is in support of this, are you? I'm sure you've been reading some of the stories in The Guardian where lecturers say that they earn a decent wage and it's not oppressive work conditions. I'm sure you've seen those.
But that's why it's important to realise that the salary is just one small aspect of what people are fighting for. They're fighting for proper contracts. They're fighting to close gender pay gaps that by law should not exist. They're fighting to have a workload that is manageable so they can actually spend proper time with students.
All right. And this will be the final strike, or would you be prepared to strike again?
I mean, always staff hope that this is the final strike, and I think what we have seen with these strikes is management actually talk to us when we're on pickets and they ignore us the rest of the time. Right. So I really hope this is, and I really hope that management speak and take action.